You don't want to be having your shoulders scrunched when you're having a conversation with someone. It feels like you're not really attentive. Whereas if your shoulders are back, just up, feels like you're more paying attention to the conversation. You're attentive, listening to what the person is saying. Makes a world of difference. You can definitely tell. Showing the same amount of energy makes a lot of difference to the conversation you're having. Look, if me and you are having the same tone, that's completely fine. But if you're speaking in a different tone and I'm speaking in a different tone, for example, Abhi, if English isn't your first language, you're new to a Western country, you're new to Australia, whatever, you can role play tough scenarios. You know, you've made a friend, and can you practice English? Yeah, Australia, fine, we can practice English. For example, an interview. Oh, what are your talents? What are your skills? You know, it gives you a good opportunity to work on your communication.
In this episode, we break down real-world tactics for sharper communication, unshakable confidence, and next-level charisma. What's been the funniest story of you that you witnessed because of communication issues? It might be something yours. It might be something about me that you've seen, me stuttering on my first day in high school.
Yeah.
But can you think of a moment?
Absolutely, brother. I can think of a moment I would say in Indonesia, man, when we were renting out a bike in Indonesia. I was with one of my friends. We were renting out a bike, and the guy, he asked for my passport number. So I gave him my passport number, and there was a small scratch on the bike that happened. And after that, he almost lost the plot. So he had to pay him off, and he would not stop talking. He was swearing his mouth off. So even though we spoke a little Bahasa, we managed to make it work. That's what I would say.
So is that a positive story or a negative?
Yeah, negative story.
Or is it a neutral story?
Nearly got in trouble, man.
Oh, yeah.
Indonesian police, they're not no joke. So yeah.
And your communication got you through?
Absolutely, yes.
Beautiful.
Eye contact, toning it down. I'm sorry that happened. Yes, it won't happen again. Apologies.
And this was all in Bahasa Indonesia?
In Indonesia, yes.
Oh. I'm impressed. How many languages can you speak?
I speak 2 languages. My mother tongue is Tamil, and I speak a little bit of English, I'd say.
Then what's with the Indonesian?
I learned Indonesian, bro, when I was younger.
Well, wouldn't that count?
I guess so.
Yeah. Now, let's get to the serious bits.
Yeah.
How important has articulation, your way of communication, and charisma been in your life?
I would say it's been really important, bro. Living the past 18 years in Australia, communication has been of the utmost importance of delivering my point across to people of all walks of life. I'd say it's very, very important, Abhi.
Very, very important. And can you think of a certain time, just about yourself, where I know you've just told the Bali story, but let's look into something like getting a job, or an interview, or something of that sort, where your communication has helped you a lot.
Yes.
Or even public speaking, that would be a good one, if you can think.
Absolutely. I'd say when I was younger, I took up public speaking. I was probably in 6th grade. I took up public speaking. I went to the event. It was my first time. I revised a lot. I was cohesive. I made sure I had eye contact with the audience. And it was about a topic which was confidence. I still remember this topic very well. It was about confidence. Now, don't get me wrong, Abhi. I don't feel as if I'm an extremely confident person whatsoever. But at that age, there was at least 150 people in the audience, and we were speaking about confidence. So yes, I maintained eye contact with the audience. I was cohesive, and I would say that was a big difference.
Yeah. Was everyone clapping in the end?
Yeah, everyone was clapping at the end.
Should we tell everyone how we know each other?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you go first.
So me and Abhineet, we have been friends not even friends, we've been brothers for the past 6 years. I met Abhineet in my 10th grade in high school. And it's a funny story, actually. I was going to this classroom, like I wanted to go early for maths. And if you know me personally, you know that I've not struggled with maths. I haven't always been attentive with maths. So I was walking towards the classroom with another friend of mine. And I saw Abhineet, and I was like, hey, bhai, are you from India? And Abhi, तुम्हारा नाम क्या है? And Abhineet was like, yes, I'm from India. And we just hit it off straight off the bat. We've been close friends ever since then. Yeah, very, very close friends.
And I've known you for close to 6 years now.
Absolutely.
And even though I've known you for close to 6 years now, I can definitely say this, that Thiraj Ramamoorthi is one of the most excellent communicators I know. He gets his points across. He never stutters. And it's really, I don't see that in many people. It's very unique. My communication, I wouldn't say it's nowhere close to you, but I'm working on it. And I've worked on it a lot from what it used to be back in the day. And you might even be an example. You might even have examples.
Absolutely, yes.
Where I would stutter, I would say, I still do. But it was way worse back in the day.
I appreciate that compliment, brother. Definitely, I can think of our PLP days, man. Where we had to do that presentation, and I still remember, how much you were stuttering. But truth be told, Abhi, you have created something of yourself from nothing to something. That you should be so proud of that, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. All right, let's get into the actual meat of the conversation.
Yeah.
We will now talk about communication, confidence, and charisma. And charisma, not so much. We'll touch on it.
Yeah.
But mostly communication and confidence. The reason why, that we know that this is a very important aspect of your life. There is no one book, one podcast, one research article, or one YouTube video that can help you get it all in. But yes, you can have all the information in one place. You could slowly try a few things out. You might learn a few new things about just by yourself. What we have tried to do here is, me and Thiraj, we have researched a lot. We've found all these books, although I don't have it here. I was planning to have it here. How to Win Friends and Influence People, books of that sort. And all the information, we just got it all together and framed it to have this discussion today. Not something which I usually do on Young and Curious. I would say that this would be one of the only sort of scripted podcasts, but we only have topics that we're going to touch. Nothing else planned out. So let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
And also, another thing that I've done is that I have put all this in a PDF. I haven't yet, but I'm about to. I will put all of this in a PDF and attach a link. Just click on the link and you'll be able to find this file. And we'll stay in touch. Brilliant. Now, let's begin with the basics. The basics of good communication. Let's say you walk up to someone, or even if you're like operating on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Let's just begin with that first, on how can someone have great communication and confidence.
Yeah. Abhi, what I would recommend is smile authentically and warmly. Use cues like related to the weather. Oh man, it's a hot day today. How are you going? Start it off with a general small conversation and then try and build up to something.
So are you recommending that I just walk around smiling?
Absolutely not. But when you see someone that you do wish to talk to, please go up to them and start a conversation. And especially if you're not from Australia, you haven't been in Australia for a long time, I can assure you that the last thing that they're worrying about is your accent. They're probably more than happy to have a conversation with you.
Brilliant. And I feel like even though this is stressed out so much, so many times that, hey, walk around smiling. But the thing is, if you would change that to walk around being happy, walk around being positive, then it's a slightly different thing. It's not a fake smile where you have the Mr. Beast smile walking around and you're genuinely happy. Now, it's not easy to stay genuinely happy all the times. I'm not genuinely happy all the times, but just being happy seeing someone because you love the relationship you have with them, or being happy seeing another human being. I'd say that would go really far away, because most people are on autopilot, and when they walk around, they're not really happy to see other people. But if you just make that small difference, that small change, it goes a really long way.
Yeah. I would agree. And I think we've noticed this as well in big cities like Sydney, Perth.
Oh man, tell me about it.
We walk around, because we live in Darwin, Northern Territory. We can almost smile at anyone and start a conversation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like we smile at them and we say, "G'day mate, how you going?" It doesn't have to be in the Australian accent, but they would definitely have a conversation with you, even if it's for like a good 30 seconds, I would say. It's somewhat a blessing being in a small town like Darwin.
Absolutely. And we were in Melbourne quite recently, actually, and uh, my energy was still the Darwin energy. I would walk around and say, "Hey, man, that's a nice suit," and the guy was like, "Oh, what a creep! What in the on about?"
It's definitely a culture shock from, sorry for cutting you off. It's definitely a culture shock when you go from a small town like Darwin to Melbourne. It's a very big culture shock, brother.
What would you recommend in that case to people living? So I don't want to limit it to people who live in Darwin. This and want to make it more generic. Even though you couldn't, like, it would depend a lot culturally from different locations. Even if you live in a different country or you go traveling in a different country, then it's a very different vibe. But there might be still things that you could do universally.
I would say have a receptive smile. You know, if you see someone, how you doing? Just like, you don't even have to say it, just like mouth it.
Yeah.
Shake your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, these small little greetings, I would say, make the world of difference.
Yeah.
You want to strike up a conversation or start a conversation, yeah?
Yeah. And it's more on the positive energy you have.
Radiate positive energy.
Yeah. And different places around the world, although you cannot go around smiling everywhere, you could still just have that positive energy, and whoever makes an eye contact with you and sees that you're happy or like you're smiling, they might probably catch your energy too.
When has a smile gotten you in trouble? You know, like, I cannot think of one instance where a smile has gotten you into trouble. No, I think it's totally fine.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean go ahead and smile at everyone you see. Absolutely not.
Smile at all the cameras. All right, let's move on to the next topic, which is using people's names. Now, this is going to connect again to, instead of smiling, having positive energy. Now, we move on to, instead of just remembering people's names like robots, remembering people. So, instead of just remembering the names like, oh, this is Thiraj, it's like, oh, this is Thiraj Ramamoorthi. He's an excellent wrestler, an excellent communicator, an excellent friend, excellent brother, an excellent person to have in the family. So the list goes on, by the way. So instead of just remembering the name, remembering the person.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Definitely, like, I don't forget names too easily, if I'm being honest with you.
That's a big superpower. I am so terrible. I've often not just forgotten names, I've also forgotten people. So I'm just helping it as add contradictions on what I do.
I cherish conversations I have, truth be told. So I don't feel like I would go around forgetting names. Definitely keep open body language whenever you're talking to someone. When you do pick up the name, make sure you get a piece from them, whether that's their Instagram, Facebook. You stay in contact with them. You know what I mean? That's what I tend to do anyway.
So every human relationship, every communication, every interaction you have, cherish it, make the most out of it, and you'd be able to remember that person.
Yeah,
and the thing is, if you have, and we will get down deeper in how you can have those great conversations later in this episode. But the thing is, if you have those conversations, you create beautiful moments for yourself. Now, you might not remember a conversation that you say, I'll actually role play it. Hey, Thiraj.
Hi, Abhi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, brother. How are you?
And then, oh, good. Catch you later. If it's like that,
some monotonous conversation.
You were both on an NPC mode. You just move on with your lives. But if it's like, actually, I'll let you do this one.
Hey, Abhi. How you doing, man?
I am feeling very excited this evening. How are you feeling?
Why are you feeling excited, bro?
I'm on like an absolute brilliant podcast live right now, and that's why I'm excited. I'm feeling really energetic, lots of positive vibes.
That's brilliant, brother. I think I share the same energy as you, man.
Yeah, and I would never forget this interaction till my deathbed. So having genuine, beautiful conversations instead of just autopilot.
You can definitely tell when someone is trying to strike up a fake conversation with you. You know, so if you do wish to go talk to someone, strike up genuine conversations. You can always relate it to the weather, what's going on, how is this event? You know, I'm really liking this event so far. Do you like it as well? Like, are you new to the event? Just relate it to with whatever's going on.
Do you actually think about the weather? I I mean, like,
We live in Darwin, bro. We have no other choice, man.
man, I'm slightly, it's slightly controversial for me because although we naturally do that a lot, but it's just we do it so often that I've had this conversation 100 times easily, even just within the
100, at
last
least
game.
1,000, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, in your lifetime, yeah. But that's the thing. It's such a common thing, whereas genuinely wanting to know about a person, that's the beautiful bit. How the external bits, yeah, sure, it can help you with the conversation. And yes, by all means, if you don't know the person, this is how you actually strike up a conversation. Do not go up to a person and start asking them about all the details of everything.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean. I definitely get what you mean. It's so whether or like other external factors based on reasons such as whether you know that person really well or if the weather's actually that good or that bad to talk about.
Yeah. It can be anything, man, I feel. If the bus is late, oh my, the bus is late. Yeah. Just strike up a conversation. I mean, it's too hard to do.
Yeah. And positive energy in conversations, it's so valuable.
Makes all the difference.
Makes all the difference. It can make someone's day if you have a positive conversation with them.
A positive outlook, a smile on your face, receptive body language, open body language at that. If you have your arms crossed like this, yep. Sure. Most probably that person is not going to talk to you again, truth be told. I'll probably walk away. Yeah, this guy is an interesting character. But if you have open body language, yes, I agree, Abhi. Yeah.
Who do you think you're, Modi ji? Shout out Modi ji. Shout out Narendra Modi.
We love you.
Shout out Albo.
Shout out Albo.
We love you too. Let's talk a bit more about the body language bit. I'm not good at body language, I'll be honest. And just because you mentioned it, I'm trying to do it a bit more. But generally, I don't use that a lot.
Yeah. I feel like it's, you don't have to use it a lot, Abhi, truth be told. Not everyone is in the walk of life where they have to go around with their arms spread, truth be told, yeah. What I would say is, what body language you can have is when you're having a conversation with someone, Abhi, eye contact. Eye contact is important. Moreover, I would say don't cross your arms when you're speaking with someone. Don't fidget. They'll be like, I've called it out a couple of times when I see someone talking to me and they're fidgeting. Like, what's going on, bro? Is everything good? I've called it out before. In that case, open body language, don't cross your arms, keep your arms by your side. How are you going?
Fidgeting, well, I would say that there might be reasons behind fidgeting.
Yeah.
If someone has like ADHD.
I would say it's like, I know the person well and they're fidgeting. I'd say like, bro, are you nervous or something? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Okay, brilliant. Just having an open body language and I'm not going to name who I'll talk about, but my boss she's such an excellent communicator and she has such amazing body language. Like she would walk into a room and fill it with energy and that is something you can do as well. Pretty good. I'm not good at that because I just have a very low key sort of energy. But if you could do that, if that's your thing, capitalize on it. If you want to build it, if you know someone who does that, and if you want to be like them, ask them and try, I guess, cultivating that.
Implement those techniques.
Absolutely.
In relation to your boss, with age comes experience. These are things that you can pick up with time. It's not a 5-second hack.
Yeah.
You cannot immediately become a more confident person, a more effective communicator. These are things that take time. So don't feel like you need to do this straight away.
Absolutely. And that's a very good thing that you just mentioned. It's not a hack. I was watching a TED talk. It was a TEDx talk of, I will try to reference who the person was somewhere in this video. But she literally said that to have great conversations, maintain eye contact, have an open body language, try to pretend that you're listening. So what she was trying to get at is don't do these hacks. So she mentioned a list of things and she said, don't do any of these. You do not need to do any of this if you are actually listening. Just actually listen, actually be present, and you don't need to act like you're being present.
Yeah.
Would that be a fair thing to say?
100%. 100% I agree. Look, if you're actually attentively listening, you don't need to do anything we're saying, truth be told. But definitely helps. It makes all the difference when you're having conversations, I feel.
Brilliant. Another thing that I do a lot, filler words. Let's talk about that. What's there to talk about, you know?
Yeah.
Like
What's going on? You know.
what's going on here? What did you have like
You know.
last Friday?
Yeah. Truth be told, you can always cut a conversation short and then wait for the other person to respond. You know, you don't have to go, I'm not too sure. You know, you don't have to do that at all. You can cut a conversation, you can cut a sentence short and wait for the other person to respond.
And if you try to use filler words as a way to think, because some people want to form the sentences, English might not be your first language, it might be second, third, fourth. If you are thinking, if you're trying to frame the sentence, then just pause. Take a deep breath. Relax. Just pause. Would that be a fair thing to say? And this is something that's taught a lot in public speaking, that instead of fidgeting and being nervous and just pause.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. When you take a pause, you can bring a listener's attention down to the detail. And there's lots of there's picturality and all this stuff that goes into public speaking. We're not going to touch on that. Let's just talk about interpersonal communication for now.
Look, another thing I'll add, and sorry for cutting off.
No, you're fine.
You know, if English is your third or fourth language, please take what we're going to say. Look, English is undoubtedly one of the hardest languages to learn.
Without a doubt.
It is undoubtedly one of the hardest languages to learn. Look, I come from Tamil Nadu in India. And I spoke Tamil. Tamil is my mother tongue. And I had to learn English here. I didn't pick it up. I had to learn English. So I can tell you it's a very hard language to learn. So if you're speaking even basic English, give yourself a pat on the back. It's not easy to do.
Absolutely. And this might be a thing I would want to share too, because my first language has always been Hindi. And the reason why I was able to pick up English was, firstly, I came here when I was 14. When you're young, you pick up language and accents and all those stuff quite quickly.
Yeah.
Having said that, when I was in India, I was in an English medium school, and that's where a lot of my foundational knowledge come from. Now, you might think that even though I'm in India and I still picked up English, it was because my school was also kind of hard about it, where they fined us for not speaking English.
Yeah.
It was like 2 rupees for speaking Hindi, 10 rupees for speaking Marwari, unless it's the Hindi class. And then we would joke about, and then I would joke about, what would we speak in a math class? Would we speak like numbers, binary, algebra, x plus y equals, I don't, but.
I remember you said a quote, brother, you know, please correct me if I'm wrong. It was like, you speak English because it's the only language you know. I speak English because it's the only language you know.
Yeah, and if English is your second, third, and fourth language, and you're working on your communication, definitely, as Thiraj said, give yourself a pat on the back. It's not easy, and it's not been easy for me. It's not been easy for him. It definitely requires lots and lots of practice, lots and lots of reinforcement. And it's often even when you're learning English, you would not think about being a great communicator in English. You're just trying to learn that language. And if you are now thinking of improving your communication in that language, that's a big thing. Might be a very small proportion of our listeners today, but still, if you are one of those people, I'm really proud of you. Well done.
And I met a couple people, you know, whose first language isn't English, which is completely fine, who are actually afraid to have conversations, you know, on the fact that we'll judge them on their accent. Like, no, I promise you we're not going to judge anyone on their accent, or most people will not make fun of your accent whatsoever. They would commend the fact you're trying to speak their language. You're trying to speak English. It's not an easy language to learn.
Yeah. Having said that, if there's a point where you're talking to a native speaker and you don't understand anything, instead of just nodding and saying, yep, what I would suggest is just ask, I'm so sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you please repeat that? Your employer or someone who's working with you or a friend would much rather appreciate you
calling them out
and just asking just clarification instead of agreeing to it. Because even when someone who is like not an English speaker and talks to us and just nods away, we know that they didn't get it. we could tell when someone got what we were saying
Yeah.
and when they didn't.
It's very easily.
Very easily.
But it's very hard to call them out on it. You know what I mean? When you're having a conversation. Did you get that? Sort of comes off as rude. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Please do. If you do see it and you're just shaking your head away,
Yeah, it's harder
call you out on it.
It's harder and also mean for us to say because we might not be 100% sure that happened. It might have happened, but we're not 100% sure. So we're still on that line where, but most likely we can tell that they didn't get it, and calling you out would be very mean. So we don't want to do that. Yeah,
Not here to hurt anyone.
not here to hurt anyone at all. And before, previously, you also mentioned keeping your message concise and short. Let's talk a bit more about that. Why is that important?
Keeping a message concise and short, you want to have a point in what you're saying. You know what I mean? Look, I'm going to relate it back to the weather. I know you don't like this, but having a small conversation in relation to anything, Abhi, truth be told, oh man, how long is this lecture going to go on for? Oh, what do you think about this car? There must be a point in whatever you're saying. You don't want to be saying utter nonsense. You know what I mean? Of course, when you're with your friends, you get away with it. But if you're meeting someone for the first time, you want to have a point in whatever you're saying. That's what I mean. Short and concise, to the point. Makes all the difference.
Absolutely. That's great.
Gives the other person a chance to speak as well.
Yeah. And while we're on that, we would also just briefly touch base on if something goes wrong. And this is, and I know we took a bit of tangent here for just talking about people who don't necessarily have a good background in English.
Yeah, that's completely fine as
a
well.
lot of people who'd be watching would actually have a good background in English, but would not know about some of these things.
Yeah.
If you read the book 48 Laws of Power, there's one of the laws is always say less than necessary.
Yeah.
And although there's it's a totally different rationale behind why you should do that, but this would also help you just keep your self-respect intact. If you speak too much, then people would often not knowingly or unknowingly, they might not focus on what you're saying. Yeah, that's the bit that I want to steal from that book.
All right, there.
And final thing before we move on to the next section is admit your mistakes. If something wrong happens, just say, I'm really sorry. You could do a few more physical cues like, I'm very sorry. Things like that. And just whatever your thing is.
Look, if it's a slip of the tongue or it happens by accident, you don't even have to say something like, I'm really sorry. Oh, excuse me. Apologies. Just a very short and sweet. You don't have to make it too evident that it happened.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's, since you briefly raised the point of weather again, let's talk about talking with strangers. If we never knew each other and we were at the bus stop, and just imagine that this is a bus stop, we're sitting at the bus stop, and you came up, and how would we start a conversation? And I'll try to role play the not so talkative person who is slightly annoyed by the fact that bus is 5 minutes late.
Yeah. Bus is taking forever, eh?
Tell me about it.
You come to the bus stop often?
No, sometimes I catch this bus to go to work.
Oh yeah, what do you do for work, man?
I work as a barista in the coffee club.
Oh right, how long have you been doing that for?
I've been doing that for about 2 years.
What's your favorite coffee then?
That's a very hard question. Just because we make so many coffees, I've literally been tired of tasting different coffees. Yeah. What about you? Why are you here?
To be honest with you, I just finished work as well.
And
got to rush home. I'm tired, and I cannot believe that the bus is going to take this long. It's taking this long to come and pick me up.
Yeah.
But yeah, look.
Has this happened often with you?
I believe so. It's happened too often to count.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. Cut.
Short and concise.
Short and concise.
Find something to laugh about.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
conversation.
Humor is such a big thing. And you know what? A lot of people who don't speak English as their first language, they have such good humor.
They do.
Man, they would just say stuff, and maybe it's just me who are not as a English. I don't have English as my first language. Probably that's why I find it funny. But if I think that it's actually funny,
Yeah.
and they would just catch you off guard, and make you laugh.
Yeah.
So if you can make someone laugh in your language, maybe just try if it could be translated to English as well. It might be funny, it might not be funny. Or nothing hurts in trying, you know.
Absolutely. And look, we live in Australia. Truth be told, and Australians are very, very warm, humorous, and receptive people. So
Yeah, absolutely. Would you say offering compliments would be a good thing with strangers?
absolutely,
Let's
wary
like a
of-
barista example.
Yeah.
Be wary of the compliment that you're gonna give.
absolutely. You don't want to scare anyone off.
Yeah. Oh, you
They
jump
call the police, you know.
Yeah.
But just a very small compliment, like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, that's a nice jumper. Where'd you get that from?"
I got it from Timu. No, yeah, absolutely. And even the barista conversation,
Yeah.
I don't know if you directly said that, might have to rewind and watch it, but I did feel great when you said, "Oh wow, you've been a barista for so long." So just things like that, that can make people feel nice.
And even relating it back to a barista, like this is totally off topic, by the way, but apparently making coffee is a proper art.
Yeah.
It's a proper art. You know what I mean? There are so many different types of coffees. So, look, I don't drink coffee, but I know this one small thing. So,
Beautiful. All right, let's get into deepening the conversations.
look, obviously, you don't want to start off a conversation with some question like, all I'm going to say is start light and then go gradually from there. You don't want to start off a conversation by saying something like, "What are your thoughts on Donald Trump?" out of nowhere.
And
The first thing that person is going to say,
oh my God, and we can think of real examples, and things like that. I would say not even with people you know. It doesn't matter if it's someone you know or if you don't know them. Do not start by things like
start light and then work your way up to a conversation. That's what a good conversation entails. Starting light, making, poking small humor, like, "Oh man, bus is taking forever. God, I hope the driver's not drunk." Just these small things, and then build it up gradually.
Yeah, absolutely. And often, and this is such a great example. I feel like you just did it naturally with the coffee example. Having open-ended questions, that makes world of a difference. And I will reiterate, "How are you?" is not an open-ended question anymore. Well, although it is a conversation starter.
But the thing is, could you say this to someone you just met? "How are you?" "Yeah, good, I guess." "Mate, I'm waiting at the bus stop. What do you think?"
Well, wait, hold up. But didn't we say that in Australia you can say things like, "How you going?"
Yeah, "How are you going?" and "How are you?" is a bit different, don't you think? Like, "How you going?" "Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?"
Yeah.
"How are you?"
Yeah.
Makes you think for a second.
Yeah, if it's someone you know, then twist that up a little bit, and instead of just saying good, you can be reflective and answer that question honestly. And just actually tell us, "How are you?" We want to know, "How are you?" Just answer honestly.
I think we've heard too many, "Yeah, good."
Yeah, good.
It's such a normal thing to say almost. It's like
Yeah.
guaranteed answer when someone asks you, "How are you?"
Yeah.
"Yeah, good." "Yeah, I'm
Right.
excellent, brother." There are so many things you could possibly say.
If you want to be an effective, and I'm so sorry I cut you off.
Oh, no, totally fine.
If you want to be an effective communicator, you need to break the autopilot. If you don't break the autopilot, and if you are constantly just answering questions on autopilot, "Oh, you've been busy at work?" "Yeah, I've been busy." Like, yeah, man, I'll break the autopilot. I would say that's important. And open-ended questions. That's what we're going to originally talk about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a few good examples of open-ended questions with people we know.
Yeah.
Like, we know each other. We're good friends.
Okay, so look, because me and Abhi have known each other for a long time, this is how normally our conversations would go. We talk about politics, We talk about movies. We talk about our interests that we shared. Open-ended questions, things that we can have conversations about for the longest period.
Not yes or no.
Not yes or no, just like open-ended questions are important, I feel.
Yep.
They're conversation builders.
Move it back to the people. Move it back to with the people who we work with. How would that look like in a workplace scenario? Although we don't want to talk all the time at work, but we still want to build relationships with the people who we work with, because these are the people we spend most of our times with. And it's so interesting that we quite often spend more time with our co-workers than with our families.
That is very true. You know, to build a good relationship with your co-workers, truth be told, I would take a step such as, oh, how was your weekend? Did you get up to much? You know, there's small things that make the world of difference. You know, showing that you don't have to show that you care about your coworker, but the least you could do is ask about their day. Or busy assignment they've handed to us, eh? Like just those small questions, I feel like they make the world of difference.
Beautiful. And we've already talked about it, that you start light and start going inside more deeply.
Yeah.
Begin by surface level questions, and you can channel that into something bigger. Yeah.
How about another thing that I feel, sorry for cutting you off, man, is if someone asks you a very tough question, you can also somewhat deflect that question, you know, truth be told.
Like, what are your thoughts?
If someone asks you a question you don't understand or is very tough, you don't know how to answer, you can deflect it. Oh man, let me think about that, eh? I'm not too sure, truth be told. You know, there are many things you could say to deflect a question.
Let's talk about an example such as, I don't know if I would have an answer to this straight away, but see if we can work this out while we are on.
Yeah.
Let's say you're in an interview, and one of the tough questions that often gets asked in interviews is, what is the salary that you expect?
That is a great question.
I know. It's very tough. And I know someone has answered this on YouTube, but let's see if we can work this out.
Truth be told, you know, definitely I've used this tactic a couple times. You know, I've always hit higher than the average, and they tell me this is actually the average salary. But I wouldn't say do this. No, do not do this. But truth be told, in this scenario, when it comes to the salary basis,
and it's often and I would add more context to it. It's often this question also comes up when you are, let's say, it's like, how much did you get paid in your previous job? Yeah. So that they can decide how much you'll get paid in your current job.
It's such a robot answer to say this, but I feel like, I've said things, well, me personally, I've said things like, I'm not really here for the salary. I'm here for the experience. The experience to work with this company. I feel like that would be very valuable.
And then we can...
it's not even truthful half the time.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is I'm very, very happy to have this experience, this opportunity, connect with coworkers that are alike. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Brilliant. And if you still want to dig more deep, there might be someone who would have answered this question. I would have to find for sure. And if it's someone on a higher level of power, or like, let's say, who's slightly senior than you, and you want to build a good relationship with them while working on yourself, you can also ask things like, how can you improve yourself? What can you do better? Or would that be fair?
Absolutely. I feel like your team leads, your seniors are definitely there to help you to a certain extent. You know, you cannot expect them to do everything for you. You must also take some accountability in order for you to progress as a person, as an employee, as a coworker. You know, you must take some accountability, truth be told, but they are there to help you.
And we can use feedback to improve.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Whether that's, and this doesn't even have to be a team leader, senior, that work type of scenario. This can be a mentor. It can be your parents. How can I improve? You know? Definitely.
Could it be your friends?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I asked one of my friends.
But it depends on when you're asking your friends, it definitely depends on which friends you're asking this question to. You know, true. a very realist type of
I'm just here. Yeah, don't want to use this as a friendship test. But yeah.
We love all our friends,
Absolutely. A few other things that I noticed while researching for this episode was if you talk in present tense instead of past tense, then it makes the world of a difference. If you say, I'm. Oh, let me think of a good example.
This is a great movie.
This is a great movie.
This was a great movie.
This was a great movie. Yeah. I would say salespeople would talk more about this. This was a great movie.
Yeah.
And things like that. This is a great. So instead of using past tense in sentences, you start using present tense.
Yeah. This is a great movie. I truly enjoyed it,
Yeah, this is a great movie. I truly enjoyed it.
Makes a little difference to the conversation.
Yeah. Let's brainstorm a better example.
Yeah. Today was a good day. I had a good day today. Would that be fair?
That's still past.
Yeah. Today is a good day. Today is a good day. Today was a good day.
I was so happy today. I'm so happy today.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Another thing I found out, using hooks and dropping things within the conversation to have a better conversation so that you can have tangents within while you're speaking with someone. If you, and I don't know why I'm constantly going back to how are you good, but if you answer the question how are you with something interesting, or I feel relaxed, then I know I feel relaxed is not that better, but like things which can give people tangents or like follow-up questions to ask.
Yeah. Look, Abhi, what I feel in what you said is you can definitely pivot the conversation when you use hooks, whether it's compliments or whatever. You pivot the conversation. It's more engaging.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, oh man, you've gotten big. Are you going to the gym? Just small things like that.
Yeah.
You definitely pivot the conversation. It's more engaging. That's what I feel.
Yeah, brilliant. And also asking follow-up questions to people, not just although you have to speak more and give out a bit more in your responses when you break that autopilot, you also need to ask follow-up questions. It makes the world of a difference when you ask follow-up questions on things. On the weekend, I watched a movie.
What movie was it?
Deadpool.
Is it a good movie?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, what would you rate it out of 10?
8 out of 10. And the reason why I would say 8 out of 10 is because I just couldn't take my eyes off while I was watching the movie. I haven't watched Deadpool, by the way. It's just
You see, I asked him a question. What would you rate it out of 10? It made him think for a second.
Yeah. And instead, if you also asked, was that a good movie? Yes, that was
that one as well.
But anyway, yeah. Now let's gear it up to being more charismatic. We've already talked about being more like your body language and everything. What next?
Abhi, look, what I could say is have a genuine smile, maintain a good frame, positive body. I don't know how to say it, but when you're having a conversation, maintain a good smile, have a positive body frame, chest up, shoulders back. Just you don't want to be having your shoulders scrunched when you're having a conversation with someone. It feels like you're not really attentive. Whereas if your shoulders are back, chest up, feels like you're more paying attention to the conversation. You're attentive, listening to what the person is saying. Makes a world of difference. You can definitely tell.
So many things we already talked about already add to the charisma bit, like your positive body language, the fact that your
body language makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Truth be told, it makes all the difference, I feel, when you're having a conversation. You can definitely tell, when someone has good body language and someone has bad body language.
And you can use light humor. We've already talked about just some little jokes, complimenting people, and just being positive. That would add to your charisma so much.
I agree.
A good YouTube channel to check out if you want to work on your charisma is Charisma on Command. It's a solid channel.
Definitely a couple people that I can think of that are very charismatic when they're having conversations, yourself included.
Really?
I know this guy is going through a bit of a heat. He's going through heat right now, but I feel like Beer Biceps does it very well.
Mm-hmm.
He's very charismatic. I watched a lot of his podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Greene's up there.
Oh, absolutely. Robert Greene his articulation is just on point.
Yeah.
Even Stephen Bartlett's.
Yeah.
Dari
You feel?
Yeah. Any Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. Man, if we think of body, positive, body confidence and positive body language, we have to mention Shah Rukh Khan, bro.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, very, very positive body language.
This is for anyone who watches Bollywood.
Yeah. Well, you can't beat Salman Khan when it comes to this.
Yeah,
Positive body language.
let's also talk about. Let's get back into the conversation bit.
Hmm?
Let's also talk about mirroring people.
Yeah.
How would you add on to that?
What I would say is showing the same amount of energy as the person that you are communicating with makes a lot of difference to the conversation you're having. Look, if me and you are having the same tone, that's completely fine. But if you are speaking in a different tone and I'm speaking in a different tone, for example, Abhi, how are you going?
Oh, excited, man. How you going?
Yeah, good. You can kind of tell I don't really care. I don't care about you and I don't want to be having this conversation. It feels very, very forced. Whereas this...
It's like mentally punching me.
Whereas like, hey, Abhi, how you going, man?
Oh, not bad, bro. So good to see you.
Happy to be here. It makes the world of difference. We can tell that we're both attentive. And
Yeah.
the conversation was so much more smooth.
Yeah, and especially when you're talking with introverts, then you also have to match their energy. You don't have to just go like wild at it. And I would add on to this because quite often there's also a cultural aspect that comes to it. So someone being an extrovert, someone being an introvert, how their energy is on a specific day. Some people are ambivert, so certain days they might be like, oh, and that is definitely me, because I switch my energy so often.
Yeah.
And also there's a cultural perspective to it where people from different countries, Australia, we are like, super energetic people. We can definitely match up the energy. The energy goes up pretty quickly. But some other countries, it might not be the case. Like, for example, if I was to give you an example, when I was in India, if I was to talk to people like super excited or even like, hey, how you doing? Even if I had slightly more energy than what would be the cultural norm in that place, people would not even talk to me like, oh, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah. What's I'm so happy for?
Calm down on that, things like that.
The cultural perspective, I think you said is actually spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely where cultures are more reserved, I feel like it's harder.
Yeah.
Somewhat harder to have deeper conversations when you come out of that country.
Mm-hmm.
No truth be told. But
I know.
Big one, I feel.
Yeah, and there's also a religious and also a gender perspective to certain things. And it would also depend on the energies of people. You cannot just go up and handshake with everyone, but most people you can. Most people, and it's definitely recommended that when you see someone, just try to be as positive as you can, and based on their energy, just try to shake the hand.
Absolutely.
The beautiful gesture.
And even if you're not someone that wants to shake someone's hand, even a small thing like, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I feel the same way.
Yeah. That is so powerful. Even just doing that,
makes all the difference.
Makes all the difference.
You don't have to shake anyone's hand to show that you know them or you like them or you appreciate the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing that you can do when having a conversation with people is just paraphrasing what someone said. So let's say and I'm happy to do an example of this, for example. I use AI all the time. AI is so helpful in my life. A lot of people tell me about the fact that AI might take our jobs or AI might help us do our jobs better.
Doom the world.
AI might doom the world. There might be Matrix attack or all these Terminator. And but the thing is, what I've noticed is just it's better for me to be present in the moment and just use AI as much as I can, because I'm not the one who controls the fact that AI comes and takes someone's jobs or not. But one thing I can definitely do for sure is somehow use it to optimize my work, because that's all I can do. And that's all that would go on. Now, if someone had just told all this to you, then instead of just saying, yep, and you're still going to talk more.
What I would say in regards to AI has made the world of difference, bro, truth be told. I feel like it has made the world of difference.
Yeah. And you could just summarize whatever I've said, like, oh yeah, definitely the job perspective is quite interesting, but yeah, we can definitely use it to our benefit. And if you just do that, and you could do that in any example, and if you're actually attentively listening, you can definitely do that. There's no way you can.
Abhi was stating, while he did say, AI might do this, might do that in a negative way, he was also stating a lot of positive things about how AI is actually beneficial, how he uses it. So I was just agreeing with him. Yeah, I agree. Abhi, AI is good. AI works. Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And that would still come down to, although agreeing and attentive listening and mirroring. So what we're trying to do here is not give you hacks, but just change the way you currently think about having great conversations.
And, another one that you can do if English isn't your first language, you're new to a Western country, new to Australia, whatever, you can role play tough scenarios. You've made a friend and you guys are close or whatever, and you're getting closer. It's like, oh, can we practice English? Yeah, that's totally fine. We can practice English. You can role play tough scenarios. For example, an interview. What are your talents? What are your skills? What do you bring to this table? What do you bring to this job? It gives you a good opportunity to work on your communication, your conversation skills.
And if you don't have that friend, then I know I'm going back to AI. I definitely know for sure that you have a friend like that. But if you want to make it more convenient for yourself, just go download the ChatGPT app. This is not sponsored by ChatGPT.
Shout out ChatGPT.
Shout out ChatGPT. Click on the audio mode inside the app, and you can literally talk to that bugger. You can speak to it and say, hey, I'm trying to work on my conversation. Let's talk. And then you can drill down on specific bits like, let's talk about topics and try to have a good conversation. Or let's say, I've just walked up to you, ChatGPT, and you're a stranger, and I'm going to have a chat with you. Give me feedback on what I said wrong. What else could I have said? And if you just do that, it can still help you a lot, right?
Definitely. And in regards to ChatGPT, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. In regards to ChatGPT, yes, it actually has made the world of difference, bro, in everyone's life. I use ChatGPT a lot. A lot.
Who doesn't? If you don't, then you're falling behind. And it's not me who said it. It's Jensen Huang, if I said his name correctly, the NVIDIA guy.
And there's also you don't even have to use ChatGPT. There is so many other incredible pieces of AI coming out. Artificial intelligence, they all say it feels like it is the future to a certain extent.
Any good examples of any other ones you use?
Oof, that's a great question.
I use Perplexity for research. Anything, if I want to research anything. Well, you could also use deep research inside ChatGPT now. But before this, I just used to go heavy on Perplexity doing the research. Even for this episode, I've used Perplexity for research. And there's also this another AI called Napkins AI. Napkins AI, you can use it to draw diagrams of things and visual.
Abhi, what do you think about Google AI?
Gemini.
Yeah, Gemini. It's so useful, man. You search something up on Google and it just gives you a quick...
Oh, I know.
It's made the world of difference,
Absolutely.
bro. It has made the world of difference.
Absolutely. I think ChatGPT also has something like that, but they definitely didn't...
ChatGPT is more detailed, though.
It's more detailed. They definitely didn't succeed to replace Google, because Google just did that much more smoothly and much more efficiently. And now it's just, you go to Google, you look up everything, and you get the summary of everything. It's pretty solid. Yeah. And talking about Napkins AI earlier, you can use Napkins to create visuals. So let's say you have 5 different bullet points about something, you're talking about something. You can feed that all into the beautiful notebook, and then it creates a visual for you. And it's way better than any other AI tool.
You know, we're straying off topic here, but there is an AI like photo app which I'm using. It's called Luma AI.
Mm-hmm.
You can put 2 images and it like kind of and type what you want done. It like merges them together. It's super funny.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta give it a crack. It's awesome.
Yeah. I have a lot more on the list. Maybe I'll talk about this in a LinkedIn post or something. But there's like so many different AIs that we can use to make our lives easier. Anyway, we're here to talk about communication. Okay. Anything else that we're missing and we should touch base on?
Yeah. Look, I don't feel, using inclusive language. When you're having a conversation with someone for the first time, I would highly recommend that you do not use inclusive language, we, us. It may alarm them, truth be told. It's not something that you should do. That is probably, you've met the person and you guys have become friends. That's when you start using, terminology like that. That's what I feel.
Yeah. And using that on public speaking, that would be a big thing. Like if you're on a public speaking stage, that would help out. Or if you're talking to a group, that would help out. Yeah, definitely not in, like we can say we are friends.
Yeah. Brothers even,
Yeah, but not to someone who you just met. Yeah. Brilliant.
Another thing is, don't be afraid to set boundaries. In terms of having a conversation.
What do you mean by that?
Set and maintain boundaries. Like, don't show anger.
Do you think so?
When you're having a conversation with someone for the first time, I'd probably say don't show anger. Be receptive.
And also,
of course, it's a very,
don't be a complete open book when you just met someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't trust everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The final bit to focus on is, and we've talked about this all throughout the conversation, is breaking the autopilot. How could we break that autopilot and cultivate curiosity? Let's just touch base on that for the final bit of the podcast before we wrap up.
Lion, what I would say is if you guys have general interest, that is a great conversation starter. Let me use this example. Abhi, bro, how was the gym, man?
Well, I haven't been to the gym today, but was hoping to go today. Don't feel like I can go anymore.
Just that general interest you guys have.
Yeah.
This is obviously for the advanced level,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Well, I wouldn't really say if it was for the advanced level, because the people you would start doing it naturally.
Yeah.
But if you want to start to get knowing people, starting off with common grounds. Now, let's also focus on the fact that to build deeper relationships with people, you can start asking questions which are not the autopilot questions like how are you. Yes, you begin a conversation by that, but as Thiraj and I talked about earlier, going deeper inside the conversation, starting light and going in deep.
Yeah,
you need to have good questions to ask. Now, if you don't know any good questions, you can literally Google this as well. There's also this thing called 36 questions to fall in love. That's also, it's got some great questions to talk about. I wouldn't say that you go on to the 36th question thinking that it would make someone fall in love with you.
Because he's used to it. He's a...
Shah. Oh my God. Yeah.
And look, man, notice emotional cues. When you're having conversations with someone like, oh, you seem like you know a lot about 36 questions to fall in love. You notice these emotional cues.
Flip you off. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You seem excited to talk about 36 questions to fall in love.
Well, I like
notice these emotional cues.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I started. Yeah. But anyway, but actually, emotional cues, yes, for sure. But also having good questions to ask and talking about other people's interests.
Yeah. 100% I feel. Look, talking about someone's interests, it brings a lot of joy to them, or else they wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Oh man, how was rock climbing over the weekend? I heard you went rock climbing.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I heard that you have a podcast. How did your shoot go?
Yeah.
How are the new lights that you
To
just...
see the light smile up on their face.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're paying attention. He's an attentive guy.
Yeah, and there's still people out there who care about me. It's not just autopilot conversations of how are you, I'm good, and what about you, I'm good, and then that ends the conversation.
No, I avoid those monotonous conversations, man. I avoid them. I try and make conversations exciting, truth be told. Like, bro, what'd you get up to over the weekend, man? Get up to much?
Yeah, film 2 episodes of Young and Curious.
I'm excited to watch it.
Thank you. Love the support. Yeah, that's pretty much all. Anything else we should add? Everything that we've spoken about today, it's not a hack.
Everything that we've spoken about today isn't a hack, truth be told. This comes with experience, a learning mindset, and self-reflection. After every conversation, doesn't even have to be after every conversation, truth be told. I don't think that's feasible. Maybe that night, when you're sleeping, you reflect on the conversations you had. How could I have improved it? That thought itself, it'll make the world of difference.
Yep. And to assist you with that process, what we've done is everything that we've talked about in this conversation, I'll prepare a nice, beautiful PDF for you. The link might be somewhere around in the description. You'll find it. You'll be fine with it. And this file, you can just watch it. You can just review it to reflect and see what boxes have you ticked and what more can you add to make your conversations better. Going back to you.
Yeah.
What was the point where you thought that maybe my conversation is not that good?
Maybe my conversation was not that good. I would say in 6th grade, I felt like, oh man, I definitely need to change my conversations that I'm having, and build up on my communication skills. I definitely felt like there was a lack of communication skills that I had at that time. So I wanted to change that, and I worked towards that with the things that I've stated in this video.
Yes, and you were not born with it, right?
You are not born with it, bro. You are not born with good communication skills, with confidence. These are things that come with time, with experience. It's not something that is God-given, truth be told.
Absolutely. Solid point to end this conversation. Thiraj Ramamoorthi, absolute pleasure to have you on Young and Curious.
Thank you, Abhi. It's a pleasure to be on your show, man.
Yeah. All right. We'll try to get it to you as soon as we can, and stay tuned for the next episodes.